What's going on, it's Suk and I'm back with a brand new video on SuperDuprTech, and in today's video I'll be bringing you my full and in-depth review of the iPhone 15. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so if you are new around here then be sure to hit the subscribe button, clicking the bell to be notified of when a new video goes live. But without any further ado, let's hit the titles. So first things first, the design of this iPhone is probably what you would expect for an iPhone, with it having a much more refined design over the iPhone 14 models. It's available in pink, black, blue, green and yellow, and I personally like the blue and black colour options the most, but I have to say it's certainly different and it's nice to see this pastel colour palette. You'll also find that for the first time the standard iPhone models have a frosted glass back like the Pro models. Apple also say the glass is infused with colour, which I guess is cool, but can I notice it? Not really, but they look good, so I guess it's doing its job. The display has fundamentally remained the same as the iPhone 14 models, although this time around we have the addition of the dynamic island atop. It still measures 6.1 inches and has a resolution of 2556 by 1179, which indeed means it has a pixel density of 460 ppi. It supports Apple's True Tone technology and can view colours from within the P3 colour spectrum, and so if you want a higher refreshing display then you'll need to look for other options. It has peak outdoor brightness of up to 2000 nits, which makes it 2 times brighter than the iPhone 14, and when using this display in bright environments, I must admit it still looks quite good. The iPhone 15 models are rated IP68, which means they can survive being submerged underwater at depths of up to 6 meters for up to 30 minutes, so there's certainly some peace of mind that comes with this device being around water. It comes with Apple's A16 Bionic chip, which has a 6-core CPU, which has 2 high performance and 4 efficiency cores. It's got a 5-core GPU along with a 16-core neural engine, and whilst it's essentially the same chip that we had with last year's Pro iPhones, it does not feel slow, and for most tasks it can keep up with the modern flagship devices. Unfortunately, you will not be getting the hardware accelerated ray tracing capabilities of the iPhone 15 Pro models, as they have the A17 Pro chip. Maybe this feature will come to the iPhone 16 models, who knows. But I've already uploaded a video showcasing the results that I got when running a number of different benchmarking tests on the iPhone 15, which I will be leaving linked down below in this video's description, or you can click the card in the top right corner to go and check that out. I'm also loving the new and updated ultra wideband technology, as it's meant that I've been able to find and locate my AirTags from much further away. I also like the addition of being able to use it in Find My Friends, so I'm able to find friends in busy and crowded environments. The cameras on this iPhone are good. Still images look good and video footage also looks quite good. I do wish the ultra wide camera was a higher resolution, as I found that when it comes to taking images in lower than favourable lighting conditions, that the ultra wide camera tends to introduce quite a bit of noise. Apple have introduced a brand new 48 megapixel main camera on this iPhone 15, which has a wider aperture when compared to the iPhone 14 Pros, which had an aperture of f1.78, whereas the iPhone 15 has an aperture of f1.6, which has meant that in certain situations the photos have looked a little better. But to be honest, you will have to go looking for these improvements, as at face value you won't really notice it. But when compared to the iPhone 14 and even the iPhone 13 models, it's a drastic update. And like we've seen with the iPhone 14 Pro models, with this camera system, Apple have introduced a 2x optical crop of the main sensor, which still allows us to take 12 megapixel still images and 4K video without losing any quality. Apple have also introduced a new format to capture these images from the wide camera. So instead of capturing them at the full 48 megapixels, you're able to capture them at 24 megapixels to retain much of the details over the 12 megapixel stills that we had last year with the iPhone 14, whilst also not eating up much of your iPhone storage. And I think this next one is a game changer. So providing you're not shooting any raw photos, the camera will capture all of that depth information too. So in an instance, you're able to change any image from what would have been a standard image into a portrait image. That's providing that there is some sort of subject, so it's able to discern the difference between the foreground and the background. But even more so, it will also allow you to change the focus too. Honestly, I think it's such a huge feature, especially for when you're taking photographs when you're on holiday and you want to blur out certain people from the background. For those that don't really record really good video footage, then you'll still be fine. And that's downplaying how good the video really is, but I've just been spoiled by the log and ProRes recording options on the iPhone 15 Pro lineup. The dynamic range is great, and I've found the video footage to be very stable whilst capturing good audio. Again, I've uploaded a video showcasing the video footage and still images that I've taken on this iPhone, and you can click the links down below in the video's description or click the card in the top right corner to be taken to that video. But in short, I think it's a great camera and it's highly comparable to last year's Pro lineup of iPhones, which were actually some of the best in the industry. So on the bottom, we finally have a USB-C port on an iPhone, and I've been asking for this for years, and I'm glad we finally got it. That is, although it's limited to USB 2.0 speeds, which is not great. But thankfully, we cannot record ProRes video footage on the iPhone 15, as this is limited to, well, the iPhone 14 Pro, but now the iPhone 15 Pro models, as I would not want to be the person waiting around to transfer video footage at those particular speeds. But it's good that we can start to carry around one single cable. But unless you're still using the AirPods Max, then you really can actually use just a USB-C cable and get away with doing the vast majority of things. So all iPhone 15 models, be it the iPhone 15, the 15 Plus, the Pro or the Pro Max, support Dolby Atmos. Personally, I haven't really noticed much of a difference when it comes to the audio between the Pro Max and the standard 15 model, which goes to show that the 15 is doing very well when it comes to its audio playback. Take a little listen to the audio coming from the iPhone 15 and the 15 Pro Max and let me know if you can tell any difference. Battery life has been okay. It's nothing insane like we see with the larger iPhone 15 Plus and 15 Pro Max models, but it's still quite good. I see average screen time of around 5 hours, and that's okay given that I am normally using Maps, Snapchat, and in general I'm not really light when it comes to my smartphone usage. Now my mom has an iPhone 15 and she's been able to average around 6.5 to 7 hours of screen on time with her iPhone. And the battery's health has still been at 100%, which is quite good considering that they've been getting used ever since day one. The iPhone 15 models support Qi 2, which allows for wireless charging up to 15 watts. And I love to use it with all of the accessories that I have. But I found this time around that when it comes to wirelessly charging my iPhones, that they do get slightly warmer to touch, especially when charging from 0%. But if you're trickle charging it throughout the day, then I've not found any difference. So if you're thinking that with the iPhone 15 and even the 15 Plus to a degree have a lot of the features coming down from last year's iPhone 14 Pro models, then you're absolutely right, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong about that, as it's meant that the barrier to entry for those particular features has become lower, and Apple are doing what Apple do best, refining technology that's been released previously but making it more accessible for those that cannot or do not want to pay £1,000 plus to have the most cutting edge technology. iOS 17 has been decent. I love the standby feature and I use it quite a bit with my MagSafe docks at both my desk and my nightstand. I also love that it changes depending on where you've placed it, so when I get to the office and I dock my phone, it displays different stuff. And I also like the personalized contact cards. and find that they not only look good, but when paired up with the ability to share contact information by tapping your iPhone to another is great. And it certainly brings back some nostalgia from years past. I also love that I'm able to share images and files that way too. In messages, I love being able to swipe and reply to inline messages, and I also like being able to view the context of a voice note without having to open and listen to it, as there have been multiple times where I've not been able to listen to voice notes, maybe because it's too loud, or maybe because of the environment or situation that I'm in. Stickers are cool, and I use them probably a little too much than I'm prepared to admit, and I've also found that I've used the effects in FaceTime quite a bit, be it on my Mac or on my iPhone. I am still trying out the new journal app to log my days, although I sometimes wish that they could make it a little simpler by having you simply grade certain aspects of your day from 0 to 10, just so you're not spending as much time in the app logging every single aspect of the day. I'm glad that I can now download my maps so that when I'm traveling and I'm offline and I don't have a data connection, then I'm still able to be routed correctly. Siri is the same, and I would love for it to give more information, be more contextually aware, and I would like to be able to turn on the light strip and the bed lamp together, but no, I have to do them separately or I have to set up a scene. Also, I like the idea of lockdown mode for the increased security in the event of any cyber crimes. I've not used it much, but once again I like the idea of it, and it's nice knowing that if in the event that I'm likely to be hacked, then I can simply go into settings and activate lockdown mode and I won't really have much to worry about. So whilst on the surface it might seem that the only new addition to the iPhone 15 over the iPhone 14 is the USB-C port, when you dig a little deeper you'll find that there's been a lot of other changes and quality of life improvements, and when paired with all the other improvements that have been made to the iPhone over the years, anyone upgrading from an iPhone 11 or 12 will greatly appreciate all of the changes. And if you've got an iPhone 13 or even a 14, then you'll find that the improvements will be much more subtle. And if you really need to upgrade, then I'd probably point you towards the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max models. I don't think any iPhone or any smartphone for that matter should start with 128GB of storage. It shouldn't have been the case in 2023, and it damn shouldn't be the case in 2024. So here's to hoping that next year with the new iPhone models that they start off with 256GB of storage. And ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and tell you if this device is worth it or not. It's had some decent updates with this model, and as I mentioned earlier, when paired with the updates that were made to the iPhone 14 and 13 models, which you'll still find in the iPhone 15, for those people that are updating, you're also going to get all of those updates included. But hey, my mum likes it. So that will be it for today's video. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, then be sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you are new around here, then be sure to subscribe clicking the bell icon to be notified when any of my new videos go live. If you've got any questions with anything you've seen in today's video, then be sure to leave them down below in the comment section, or alternatively you can hit me up on my social media, links to which can be found down below in this video's description. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care and have a good one.